Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw, and I'm here in Los Cabos at the Embark Immersion. This is the annual meeting of all the Embark hosted travel advisors. It's the third one we've been to, and it is the biggest. Jack Ezon's Embark Beyond, and we're here talking about all the newest things they're doing. And at least this is a very unique group, and we're going to talk about that. And I'm here with Annie Fitzsimmons, who's a good friend of mine, who is now working with them to help develop great content and a lot more for Embark. And we're going to talk about that and more on Insider Travel Report. So first of all, talk a little bit about what you're doing for Embark Beyond.
So I am the editor-in-chief at Embark Beyond. So I've known Jack for 12 years, but basically we've decided to dive deeper into content. And I always say, does anyone actually need more content? But when it's really opinionated, provocative, exciting, knowledgeable, authoritative content, yes, I think the travel...
Well, we also have that bad word, content. Content sounds like something you can shovel in, shovel out. Exactly. But so it's more than content. So you're trying to do things a little differently, right?
Yeah, and have a very, authoritative voice, and I think that's also missing. I've worked in travel media for more than 15 years, and this is the most editorial job that I've ever done, meaning I can write what I want, I can bring in the advisors to quote, I can talk about Jack and his trends report, but also just talk about, hotels and trends and all the things we love, but using my voice to represent Embark, which is really exciting.
Now, what are the mediums you're using to communicate all this? Because you're doing a wide variety of things. It's everything from articles, newsletters, podcasts, video, everything.
Exactly. I mean, content's that word, right? That dumping ground. But the extension of that is everything. So social media, we have a cinematographer, actually, that we're doing some series with, including In Bed With, Travel Essentials, Extraordinary, talking to people about art and culture, experts. Jack and I are launching a podcast called Beyond, which some of them will just be me and Jack talking. Some of them will bring people on, like Bob Chavez, the executive chairman of Hermes America, or Cindy Novotny, to talk about training and building your brand. So we're kind of doing, Embark, it's B2B to C marketing. So a lot of that content is yes to the advisor, which I've done a lot in my career, but also B2C, which I've also done a lot. So it's a natural fit to talk to both of those audiences.
Well, I was going to ask you, because you have experience in both the B2B and B2C worlds, and why is this different from what you've done before?
Because I have, for me personally, to have ownership over my own voice, I think is the first time that I've really been able to my newsletter goes out from me to the consumer audience and also to the advisors. So to have that is really unique, to use a word that I try not to use.
Yeah, I know. That was a bad word. We can't use that.
Nothing's unique, actually. But also, just to be with Jack, who, as we all know, is so innovative, and he really invests in change and innovation. And I think to work with someone like that is really inspiring. And to say, Jack Ezon's impossible to say no to. So to see that every day is really interesting.
I'm glad you found a home here doing this new content. And where can you find this content?
So I have a newsletter that goes out on average every 2 weeks, and then actually Embark's launching a new website, which will launch ideally next spring, the latest. Also the social media. So social is the new TV, right? So we're considering the social media channel as its own TV channel. So launching all those different series on Instagram and TikTok eventually. We'll see.
So you're on Instagram. Are you on YouTube as well?
Yes, we will be. Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah. So you'll have a YouTube channel. You obviously, I know you do a lot of Instagram and I don't know, Facebook, but I don't know.
Yeah, Embark's hired a new social media agency based in London. So that's also, they're helping us a lot with that and what that's going to look like.
Now, give me an example of some of the content you've already done for them and why it is different.
So the newsletters, my newsletters, again, are personal, but it's also content that advisors can use and share with their clients if they want to. So it's, for example, what's happening in the art world this fall that they can pass on to their clients and say, I want to book this trip for you to Paris because this particular event is happening. And again, the content at Embark, it's travel is the lens, but it's really lifestyle, right? Arts, culture, fashion, auto, F1, all of those things. So we're talking about sort of a client's and a traveler's full, whole life and how travel is a piece of that, which is also differentiates, I think, most travel content. So we're not ever going to do stories like the 15 best plunge pools in the world, but really having a personal angle.
I was going to try all 15. I don't know what you're talking
Exactly.
about. I love that idea.
I do love a plunge pool.
But you're trying to do something out of the box, a little bit different. A lot of groups do content, so to speak, trying to inspire clients of travel advisors to book, and you're trying to do a little bit something different, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think with my background too, I mean, I still have a National Geographic author contract. I have a book coming out, as you know.
We're going to talk about that.
Exactly.
At the end,
So that's, I think, having this. I've more than 15 years experience in consumer and trade media, and that's different, right? To have an editor and a writer who has experience on both sides.
No, absolutely. I think it's a great. In this case, you got a great gig here with Embark Beyond. Now, you mentioned it. You have a book coming out. That's coming out November, December. I can't.
December 3rd. Yes.
What's it called?
100 Hotels of a Lifetime with National Geographic, where I worked for 9 years. So it's a natural.
I assume that the 100 hotels that you have handpicked all over the world, right?
Not sponsored at all. It's all Annie picked, which makes me want to.
Annie says, but we won't go into that.
Exactly. My name is on the Grand Hotel Tremezzo in the pool on the cover. But yeah, it's very personal, very editorial. It's not marketing at all. Sponsored at all. It's all my picks, which is really exciting. And it'll be in multiple languages and in 63 countries, I think, around the world.
And you can order it right now on Amazon, right?
Amazon, yeah, anywhere. Barnes & Noble, Waterstones, if you're in the UK, like I am. So,
well, I told you I'd buy it. I just been sort of until it came out. I figured I didn't want to. It's also it's a big book. So
you're in it, James. You're in the acknowledgement.
I mean, now I have to buy it really just to make sure that Now, Annie, and what else? So you're doing National Geographic. You're doing the book and Embark, right?
Well, and I call myself a travel person. Like I feel like I'm no longer just an editor, a writer, an author. But I also my friend has a trips company, Open Invite, that I help her with. So I host trips around the world. I've done trips to Switzerland, Amsterdam, and Copenhagen. I have a couple of trips next year, so it's also something I love to do, is host people around the world.
Fantastic. Well, Annie, thanks for chatting with us here. It's actually, as I said, this is the first interview we've done. We've known each other for many years. And
James came to my wedding and spoke at my wedding.
I did. So I guess I had to interview you there. I didn't interview you about the wedding, though. So, so here we are at Embark Beyond, Embark Immersion. It's really been a great conference, very innovative. And you're hearing some of the innovative things they are doing with content, in this case with Annie. And again, good luck with all of this. Good luck with the book sales.
Thank you. Thank you very much, James.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.